One of India's most celebrated judges, Justice Chelameswar, will go down as someone who took it upon himself to expose the rot within India's judiciary. In an exclusive conversation with Supriya Shrinate, he refused to comment on the Rafale verdict specifically, but did assert that the practice of resorting to a sealed envelope will weaken the system. He also insists that the courts sometimes get trapped into deciding on matters where politicians fear to tread. Supriya began by asking him on the sealed cover responses and their impact on our adversarial judicial system.
I know you have your reservations on speaking on matters that are still sub judice.
Yes.
Rafale is a big controversy.
Without getting matter is still sub judice. I believe there is something pending in the court,
yes.
So I don't want to comment.
I know you don't want to comment specifically on that, but there is this new trend, a new way of verdict delivery and judgment delivery that we are seeing, which is the practice of sealed cover. Now, ours is an adversarial judicial system where litigants go head-on against each other. Does this sealed cover practice not undermine our judicial system? Because sometimes the respondent and sometimes the petitioner doesn't really get the opportunity to
see. Sealed cover practice or an in-camera proceeding is not the norm. The Supreme Court, way back in Mirasgar's case, said, in fact, I don't know whether you were there yesterday in my Vidhi, this thing. I opened my speech with the quote from Bentham, which was quoted with approval by the Supreme Court, a constitutional bench of this court. Now, it's not the norm and it's not the right thing. Now, but the law itself recognizes exceptional situations where certain information is to be protected. But what are those what are those cases where the principle is rightly invoked, and what are those cases? It's a matter of individual analysis of each case. But if it becomes a norm, certainly it is not right.
But do you believe increasingly it's being resorted to? I mean, in a case as big as this, which is being watched by everybody, this is a major case that's going on, you have a sealed cover practice, and look at the fallout of that, whether it's grammatically incorrect or factually incorrect.
Well, perhaps if I were to be there, I wouldn't have done it. That's all I can say. I wouldn't have resorted to this sealed cover procedure.
Is there preview of correcting a judgment, which is, and I'm not really referring to Rafale here, can a judgment be corrected barring some typos or some clerkier errors? This is a factual error.
No, one second. See, a judgment can be correct. This is once again without reference to...
Sorry, I understand.
The principle is any judgment can be corrected. There are ways and procedures by which judgments could be... An erroneous judgment could always be corrected. Say, for example, when you prefer an appeal, what is it that the appellate court is doing? It's correcting a judgment.
That's
Suppose
right.
if it's interfering with the judgment of the lower court, it's a correction mechanism. Now, depending upon the situation, there are always... Ultimate purpose is to secure justice.
True.
If there is an erroneous judgment for whatever reason, either the mistake of the party, the mistake of the court, or whatever is the reason, if the judgment is demonstrated to be erroneous, courts have always held the opinion that what is more important is maintaining the purity of the stream of justice, not the technicalities. Judgments can always be corrected.
Increasingly, there is this tendency to pass the buck to the courts when it comes to controversial issues, where politicians don't want to take a call. They're ambivalent on it because there's a vote bank to cater to, whether it was 377 or Aadhaar or the Ram Temple or the Triple Talaq. In some sense, the courts then are the last bastion and the politicians don't want to take a call, and suddenly when it comes to executive domain, they're a little touchy. What would you say about the double speak, so to say?
The politicians as a class are very intelligent, therefore they know how to play the game. Maybe my own brethren are not that intelligent in this sense, apart from their learning of law.